What's happening, guys? I welcome you a final time inside the doors of Good Guy, Bad Guy. I'm Chael. He's Daniel. We're going to let it rip, partner. Where do you want to begin?
We actually don't have a rundown. Look, the beauty in this show at times is when we get lost a bit. So, all right, let's pull the curtain back, right? Because we're done. This will be the last time. When we started doing, before we did Good Guy, Bad Guy, I did a show with Ariel Helwani before, as did Chael, right? We had all these shows, but they always were in each other's orbit, but we never did it because we both love to talk. They did not know if we could make this work, Chael. Let's just be honest. It was always like, so then we went with Ryan Clark, which was also awesome to do DC and RC with Ryan Clark. But then when Ryan moved on, it was, what are we doing? I said, you gotta, at some point, we gotta try this thing with me and Chael. And honestly, Chael, once they did, it's been awesome. But I think when we would go off topic, right, they give us an idea of what they wanted us to do. I think that was the biggest concern. But I don't know that they would expect that the concern actually was what made the show as good as it's been.
Yeah, I appreciate that. And it's hard knowing that this is the final episode. I got to tell you, I don't quite know how to act. I don't know how to behave. I'm going to choose to take it as a celebration. I'm going to celebrate the last time that our audience and you and I, and we all get to come together and talk a little MMA. Let me ask you a question, because I don't know the answer to this. I woke up to a headline but I don't know, my source was very good. Ilia Topuria has officially walked away from the interim title. Ilia Topuria put this out in writing, which, if this statement is true, automatically elevates Paddy versus Gaethje to an undisputed belt. Do you have any idea this rumor that I'm going on about?
I think it's still the interim championship because I still believe that Ilia is stepping away for the now, right? Look, man, there used to be a time where an interim champion could be crowned. And that interim champion, it may be a year before they would fight the actual champion, but the actual champion remained. My good friend Cain Velasquez once was a champion for like a year and a half, 2 years without fighting. It just didn't happen because of injuries. So there was a leniency in terms of how much time you could spend away while still holding on to the championship. I don't believe that that's the case today. I don't know that we have the runway to be as inactive and stay champion as we did before. I believe that Ilia Topuria still has a chance to, he's still the champion, but I do believe that he's kind of, it feels like he's telling us, without just saying it directly, it's going to be a little longer than people may anticipate before he's back inside the octagon. So, Chael, honestly, there may come a time where a decision has to be made, because Ilia said it in that statement. What he has to deal with personally is first, and it's going to be what he takes care of before anything else. And I think that means the championship belt. All right, Chael, here's our first question. This is from RC. RC asked, hey, when y'all were grappling, did it ever bother you when another man's cup rubbed up against your nose? I don't think I've ever, nobody's cup is rubbed against my nose. I don't think that I've ever been I don't think that I've ever been in a position, especially in competition, where that's happened. In training, I'm pretty sure it's happened, but honestly, it didn't. I never really thought about it. You?
I'm same boat. I can't actually recall the sensation that would cause. What RC might find interesting, guys don't wear cups very often in practice. Some guys do, but it's very uncommon. It's competition. It's required. The referee will even check. He'll check your mouthpiece. He'll physically check to make sure that a cup is in place. But as far as practice goes, no, I don't think that we ever had one. I do know the sensation of something else rubbing across me. I mean, I do. In a contact sport like that, I think that I've probably felt about everything, but the cup specifically, no.
You know what's crazy is, like, now in the gym, in my Academy Fight Club, I tell them they have to wear cups. In sparring, because one of my guys, Emmanuel Rodriguez, he's fighting in Mexico. He got hit low so bad, he had to go back to Mexico and get like checked. He was bad with a knee that went low. So now, if guys aren't wearing their cup, Chael, and you get cup checked and you ain't got one on, that's on you. I'm like, get up, keep sparring. You know you're supposed to be wearing it. You don't get to sit up here and writhe in pain, even though it hurts, if you're not listening. That's one of my biggest things. Just listen. If you just listen, it would hurt much less, Chael, if you got that cup on.
It's true.
Is that crazy?
What's the next question?
Am I just one of those bad? Am I just one of those coaches where it's like, God, I hate rough. I would not want to be on this. No,
you make a fair point.
You're like, this dude is one of the old school wrestling coaches with his pants all high, shirt tucked in, socks tucked in his shirt. Just mad too, Chael. Got a dip in his mouth. Remember the coach that had the dip in the mouth, standing on the mat, just spit? Oh, they were the worst. Yeah, I'm one of those guys.
But you did what he said. You followed his instructions.
Every single time. All right. Here's a question from RG3281. Do either of you know what ESPN stands for?
I just looked this up. So you got Sports Network. It's the E. Sports Network National. No, I don't. I would know it if I had multiple choice. I have heard it before. What do you know what it is, DC?
I have no idea. You know, it's kind of crazy. I never thought to know what ESPN means. Like, Air, you have to tell us. Air, you got to tell us. We have to know what ESPN means. I really feel it's crazy that I don't know that. Are we supposed to know that? I mean, Air, Entertainment Sports Programming Network.
Yeah. All right. There you go. Hey, I got to tell you, there's never been a time where I have needed that, though. There's never been a meeting where one of the leadership referred to it as that. Not on letterhead, not on an email, not in conversation, never. It's only gets called ESPN.
You know how you know it, that the name is not important? Because when it's important, right? Or when people don't know, you write the words under. Remember the UFC before, when the UFC was trying to get known? It said UFC, but under it said Ultimate Fighting Championships, because people didn't know. We were trying to get people to recognize that those three letters, now you could throw UFC anywhere, and the vast majority of people around the world will either know what it means or don't even care, because it's about those three letters. And that's the case with ESPN too. It doesn't matter that it's called Entertainment Sports Programming Network. It's just the worldwide leader in sports. We just know that it's ESPN, and that name on its own right, it carries so much weight that it doesn't really matter. You know, Chael, speaking of ESPN, hey, look, man, you don't elevate ESPN. Let's just call it what it is. The UFC benefited from this relationship. The UFC today is bigger and better than it was in 2019, and that's thanks to ESPN. I know, for me personally, Chael P, the ability for you and I to sit up here every week and do this on YouTube, but also ESPN Plus, and everywhere else you get your podcast. I am more known today than I was even when I was fighting, because I can walk through an airport, Chael, and I see you right there sitting in front of this on some random Tuesday, random Wednesday, them rerunning this show, and people know us because we're ever present. Because guess what? Everybody knows and everybody watches ESPN.
It's true. It's true. I do get known as the ESPN guy. I don't get known as the fight guy or the UFC guy anymore. That did happen a couple of years ago. And you're right. I mean, the reach is just out there. I'll also be going through airports, or I'll be at a health club, getting my little treadmill or my little bench press in, and there we are, up on the screen, sharing our thoughts and who's going to be champ or who should be champ. And every time I see this, I think, wow, those two guys, they're pretty good.
Yeah. Hey, Joe, let me tell you a perk of ESPN the other day. So we're leaving Vegas, and I borrowed Rosendo's carry-on bag to take my PlayStation from Thailand back to Vegas. When I left the rental car, I went to check in the bags. Cassandra then goes to return the car. I did not tell her that I took everything but that carry-on bag out of the back row of the car. They left it there. When she comes to meet me in the airport to board the flight, she goes, well, where's Rosendo's bag? I said, it's in the car. You're supposed to bring it. I took everything else. She gives me her purse, runs back to the rental-car center to try to get it. Nothing, Chael. We can't find the car. It's not our fault that you left your bag in the car. It just bad. Yeah. I went, oh, ESPN, right? I said, yeah. They said, let me go find the bag. 10 minutes later, guess who we had in hand?
They found the bag.
They found the bag, bro. It was partly because of you being able to be on TV every single week, multiple times. Abe Season said, what is one thing that annoys you about the other?
All right, I'll go first.
Yeah.
The only thing that annoys me, and I suppose it's a compliment, but Daniel does not like to talk about his own wrestling career as much as I do. Like if I try to bring up Fargo, or I try to bring up Melvin Douglas, or I try to bring up workouts that Terry Brands was leading, I'll get an answer, but they're really quick. Like Daniel'd rather just get off the topic. And Daniel had such a fun amateur wrestling career that there are some names. I'd like to know what happened when he took on Garrett Lowney. Like there is some situations, Daniel runs into Rovat in the semifinals. They go on to be Olympic teammates together. I like to hear those stories. That's fun for me, but I feel that Daniel, if I want to talk about his kids, he'll talk wrestling all day. But if I want to talk about his career, right to the point, little light on details.
That's good. But Joe, you know what else? You just forgot. You're that's annoying. I get it. I get it, because I like when you talk about yourself. I would like you to do that more too. But I think we are who we are, but you just forgot. You're away from it, so you forgot how annoying I am on The Ultimate Fighter. That's what it is. That's what annoys you the most about me. You forgot. It's been since March, so you're like, oh, yes, now I remember. That's what annoys you, Chael. Don't forget about how I acted on that show when I was winning, and then when I started losing, how I acted like a whiny baby. Remember how I was so like, ooh, talk. Then I lost.
Oh, I remember the chants and the songs. I remember it all. No, you actually are refreshing my memory. Maybe I do need to amend this statement. Yes, Coach Daniel could be quite a handful at times.
Yeah.
Hey, would you do it again? If they asked for us to coach that again, would you do it?
It was fun, bro. I had a good time. Because generally you don't get to do it with someone that you enjoy. And then we get beat down by the process. And by the end, we're both just walking in and all the chants are done. You realize that all that annoying behavior was in like week 1. By week 3 and 4, you're like, hey, man, I don't have the energy to be doing all this nonsense anymore. I just kind of want to get home. What annoys me about Chael? Obviously, I said that sometimes you don't really take credit. But also, sometimes you just kind of don't, you kind of just ignore me. That's the one that gets me. When you go, well, no, you know what gets crazy to me? When you just like hit me with the story about like that girl, the one time you decided that all show was going to be dedicated to the first girl that you wanted to date, and she just wouldn't date you. And you kept going back to it. And I was like, wait, we're supposed to do this show. And you're like, yeah, but she just did not want to kiss me. And it turned out to be one of our greatest shows. But I was like, come on, Chael, can we move on?
You're talking about Miss Shannon. She got a hold of the show. Somebody sent that show to her. I got like a nice letter on a deal with the smiley emoji and the whole bit.
And that was the best. That was the best. So in the moment, I was like, gosh, this is annoying me. But by the end of it, I was like, God, he's a genius. This guy knows how to do television. Because everybody was like, hey, that show with you and Chael, when he kept talking about his Shannon, that was crazy. I was like, oh, there it is. Chael Sonnen.
Did you watch John Cena's last match, by the way? Are you up to speed on that?
So there's a lot of talk about that. Dude, they did a great job, though, right? Did they not do a wonderful job of highlighting this guy's career?
Yeah, it was great. But do you believe it? I've watched John Cena's final match 3 times. And I don't mean the one that he had yesterday. I've seen them make this advertisement 3 other times.
Yes. So you don't believe it. I asked this on Threads the other day. I said, do we really not see John Cena ever wrestle again? Do you really believe that he walks away and never wrestles in a WWE ring again? You don't
Are you
believe
asking
it?
me? No, I don't
You.
believe that. He will at a minimum make a run in my opinion.
I feel like he'll be around. I just don't know if he's going to wrestle. In terms of the actual match on Saturday, Chael, he's fighting Gunther, who, by the way, Gunther, somebody loves him over there because he has now retired Goldberg and John Cena in the same year, both on Saturday night's main event. One of the biggest free deals that the WWE does every year. He's retired two legends. Their farewell matches have been spit with Gunther. Here's how you look at that. One, Gunther's so good at wrestling that you can put in an older guy who may not move as well as he used to, who may not be able to go at the rate that he could, and he can still help him carry a great match. That was Shawn Michaels back in the day. Remember, everybody wrestled Shawn Michaels in their farewell match because Shawn Michaels could make anybody look like a world beater. But then everybody's mad because John Cena tapped, right? He never gives up. These people, I don't understand, Chael, how you can watch the WWE for as long as we have watched this and not understand the business. That John Cena tapping out, right, is the best ending. It's poetic. It's beautiful. It's a guy realizing, Chael, that I just ain't got it no more. I never gave up. For 20 years, I never tapped. But right now, I noticed at the end of the road for me, I can't fight the way I used to. So I tapped. That lets you know, Chael, that it's over. But how in the world can people say that they love this thing and they've watched it for so long and just not get it? That Gunther's sleeper hole now is so real and so good that it made John Cena, who never taps, springboards him into the next phase of his career as a guy that's going to be one of the faces of the organization. How do people not get this?
Well, and the means of the finish was so relevant. I think that we all knew that Cena was going to go under. The whole point was for Cena to go under, but I can't think of a guy that passed the torch and he did it like that. Like, even in amateur wrestling, we will tell people the most dominant thing you can do is to pin somebody. But the truth is, you can just catch somebody and pin them. A technical fall is the most dominant. When you get so far ahead that the referee says stop, there's no point in continuing this contest. It's like the mercy rule in little kids' baseball, just for example. That's what the tap is. And when he did tap, my belief factor that this was just another piece of the storyline along the way until he actually does retire, largely went away. And I do think that if you're going to pass the torch, there is a right way to do it. I mean, they had to beg Goldberg 20 different ways just to get him in the ring to then do a Fugazi finish against the same opponent. And in many ways, that was Cena showing leadership to the guys and to the wannabes like Goldberg that, hey, man, there is a way that we do this. And if you're going to serve a guy, serve him to the best of your ability. I thought I would not have predicted the tap or bet on it, but it was the perfect finish.
It was the perfect finish, man. I think that you have to know that is the way the game goes. Unfortunately, so many guys that have left lately, Chael, have been unwilling to do the job in the way that they're supposed to do the job. And you and I have spoken about this time and time again over the course of this show where champions, right? Great champions that never lose. At the end of it, Brandon Moreno doesn't get finished. But as he ages, and he's in there with a young Tetsuro Taira, the chances that those things happen become a little bit more realistic, as it did with every great champion that we ever have. Anderson Silva, he went out on his back as he was supposed to. I know it's not written. I know it's not controlled like Vince McMahon said so famously back in the day. But it all still works out the same. And John Cena did business the way you're supposed to. You don't go out on top. You don't leave the organization as the man in most cases. One guy has done it, two actually. George St. Pierre and Habib Nurmagomedov. Everybody else, they do the job. And we don't plan to do the job. The guy that we're in there with makes you do the job.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's not necessarily a cooperation at that point, right? There's never a day you wake up and decide you're done with fighting. You will wake up one day and find out that fighting is done with you.
Yeah.
And the quicker you can come to terms with that, the better. The better for your legacy. The better that you can hold those things intact. Because sadly, as human beings, we just don't get better with time. It kind of goes the other way where we reach a peak and then we'll spend 20 years to get to one spot, and then we'll spend the rest of our lives trying to get back to somewhere where we were in those 20 years. Sometimes you got to just enjoy it. Sometimes you got to just enjoy the memories, say thank you for the ride, and watch the next crop coming through.
Oh, man, and they're so good. And they're so good. And if you can accept that your time is done and you watch that next crop, Chael, if we never accepted our place, we would have never been so ready to watch Max Holloway and Alexander Volkanovski and Ilia Topuria, Islam Makhachev. So many great champions if you just shut the door on the idea that your time is over. You got to lay it out. You got to drop the ladder. And once that guy takes it, you just enjoy watching those guys become absolute legends and superstars. Man, it's a beautiful sport. Chael, I ain't got no question for this one, but here's two statements from Coach Danny Molina. You know Danny Molina?
I do.
Coach Danny Molina said, I want to let you know, guys, the world, Chael Sonnen can divide by 0. I don't know what that means. He can also kill 2 stones with 1 bird. Chael, that's Coach Molina said that you can divide by 0, and he said you'll kill 2 stones and only use 1 bird.
Thank you very much, Coach Danny. I appreciate it. I know what he's talking about. I know what he's going for there. And he's right, Daniel. I am the most interesting man in the world.
You are. I tell you, man, when we walk into places, people love Uncle Chael. Oh, Chael, they love you, man. I got to be honest. Chael, you know what I try to do when we go, like say we're going to do good guy, bad guy publicly? I always try to let you go first so that when people rush you, I just kind of sneak in through the back. Then I'm able to that's my trick. And I got to be honest with you, now that we're in the good guy, bad guy, a time or two, I've secretly gone, oh my God, that's Chael Sonnen. And then when people go towards you, I'm like, yep, I got it. And then I go to my seat and I'm good to go without getting bothered. Oh my God, that's Chael Sonnen. And then I take off.
That's beautiful. I appreciate that. Yeah. I really do. Are you allowed to give predictions? Can you predict anything? Like if I wanted to just say for you, at this time next year, will Charles Oliveira still be fighting? Could you give a prediction?
On those types of things, as long as they're not fights, specific fights, I can give predictions.
So what do you think about that? This time next year would mean Charles has had 3 fights. Does he have another 3 fights in him?
Yeah, he'll still be fighting by the end of next year. I think Charles Oliveira is going to be, Charles Oliveira is still as good as they come, but Charles Oliveira is such a fighter that Charles Oliveira is going to be one of those guys that fighting has to go, your time's done. He's not going to be one of the ones that walks away because he just realizes certain guys have to be shown the door, like we spoke about. And I think Du Bronx is one of those guys. So, and you know, I've always hated, speaking of retirements, I remember when George St. Pierre was going through it. He was like 36 years old. And every time he'd fight, there was all this conversation about whether or not he was going to be done. I'm like, why are we showing him the door? Let's keep him around because there's going to come a time where he's not here. And the moment he wasn't there anymore, what were people saying, Chael? Well, man, we miss GSP. But the whole time, it's like, is he going to retire? Is he not going to retire? It's unbelievable.
Well, I have the same one. I have the same question for you with Conor. I do not believe that Conor makes it to the White House. Let's just live with that theory, though. Will Conor be able to manipulate the media even after he doesn't make it? He has pretended that he's coming back for 5 years. If the White House comes and goes, can he pretend, oh, I didn't come there, but you'll see me in November. You'll see me next January. Or will that be the final ruse of McGregor?
I think you are one of the few people that still believe Conor at times. You don't. Most people don't, but you do. I remember that one time where I was laughing at you. I was like, Chael, you're like the girlfriend, man, that just keeps going back every time. Dude, he's just a bad guy. Like, you know he doesn't deserve you. But every time he calls, you're like, you know what? Maybe he's changed. No, Chael, only you still believe that Conor's coming back. He doesn't go to the White House, it's done. Because here's the deal. Love it, hate it, love him or hate him. The White House card is going to be the biggest card we've ever had. but it can only be the biggest card that you will ever see if Conor McGregor is on the card. Am I wrong to say that?
No.
It can be the biggest. It'll be a stacked card. It'll be an amazing card. But the only way it's the biggest card that we've ever seen is if Conor McGregor's on it. Right?
Yeah. Well, numbers would support that. Yeah. I don't like to hand him that much power, but you are right. If we were to go look at the top 10 pay-per-views of all time, 9 of them have one thing in common, which is Conor was on the bill. So, yes, Conor is still the sport's biggest draw, whether he's licensed or not. That is true.
And we're talking boxing and MMA, guys. When we say the biggest pay-per-views of all time, it ain't just MMA pay-per-views. It's boxing, too. Conor McGregor has ruled pay-per-view for a really long time. And that will be the case. All right, next question is from Sugar Rashad Evans. DC, when you did the video about the cake, were you really talking about food? Side note, DC was a member of Team Thirsty. Okay. Team Thirsty was a thing that King Mo Lawal started with my friends at Nearfall. They made these shirts, and it was us when we were starting mixed martial arts. I was just finishing between my first marriage, and so we were just chasing women. And we called ourselves Team Thirsty because when you're thirsty, you chase the girls or you chase something that quenches the thirst. The only thing that quenched the thirst was the girls, right? So we had this whole group of guys that we ran around with those shirts that said Team Thirsty. I did the cake and chicken video at the Intercontinental Hotel in Los Angeles. You remember that one? That was the Fox Hotel. It was a great hotel.
Great hotel.
Oh, it was the best hotel. It was for the World MMA Awards. And I'm there with Sean Bunch. And they get a conference room and set it up. They give me the words. I'm not singing. I'm just dancing with the chicken. And they're singing the cake. But there's like Popeyes, a whole bunch of Popeyes in the room. So I tell Bunch, I go, hey, man, you know Sean Bunch, right?
Of course.
So I tell Bunch, I go, hey, I've got to do this skit for the World MMA Awards. I go, it's going to be cool. I know it's going to be cool. But it plays into some stereotypes. I said, it plays into some stereotypes, man. I said, so it's going to come off as cool, but I don't know what you go. So we go in there, right? And the song starts, right? And I grab the chicken, and I'm doing the chicken dance. And Sean gets up and goes right in the middle of the shoot. I don't feel comfortable with this, man. And he walks out of the conference room and he leaves. I can't watch this. I don't feel comfortable with it. He gets up and he leaves because he can't watch his brother dance around with chicken. Because you know the whole thing, black people love chicken. Well, in reality, Chael, everybody loves fried chicken. Do you like fried chicken?
Everybody loves fried chicken.
Everybody
universal.
Loves it's universal. Everybody loves fried chicken. And watermelon is fantastic. Watermelon's amazing. If you're cutting weight and you want some fruit, you can't beat watermelon. You just can't.
It's true.
But yeah, he said he couldn't deal with it. Got up. I mean, literally announced it as loud as he could. Got up and left the room. And then when he saw the video, he was like, that came out a lot better than I thought it was going to be.
A little faith, right? He's got to have just a little faith in the editing department, the magic that we call TV. Yeah, I can close my eyes and hear you doing that now, though. That was to like that Meghan Trainor song, and you're going, yes. I'm all about that cake,
Hey, Chael, so many people have seen this. I mean, this was in like 2012, 13.
Yeah.
It still circulates. And I got kids that may have never seen me fight. They're too young. I retired 5 years ago. Right? My last win was 7 years ago. Those kids, if they did see me fight, they only saw me lose. Sorry. But they did see that video. And they're like, yo, you're the champion that was dancing with the cake and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that was me. Yeah, it was fun. It's crazy, huh? Isn't that crazy? All right. Hey.
I love it.
Oh, my God. Rafa Lopez. Chael, you and I will answer this in unison. Like, we can answer this together. Who was the smelliest fighter you ever been in there with? Can we talk training? Because if we talk training, we know the same guy.
You want to say it on 3?
1, 2, 3. Matt Lindland.
Matt Lindland. He believed in it. Matt got inspired. He was trying to be world Olympic champion, and he went over to an Eastern Bloc somewhere in Europe, and he insisted when he returned that they did not shower, but that it was a weapon, that you wouldn't want to get close to them, or you wouldn't want to come under their armpits, or that it would be distracting because they smelled so bad. He insisted a lack of hygiene was a tactic and a weapon, and it motivated him. So he came back home. He started he'd do a workout and he'd wash his clothes when he's doing his shower, he would wash the clothes. Then he would just hang them. Well, that's called mildew. When you don't dry a shirt out or something, you just get a little soap on it, you leave it for the next day. He'd come put it on, and there would be arguments in the room before I'm not going with him today. I'm not going with him today. Different guys go, no, I worked out with them yesterday. You got to do it today. Yes, that tactic was somewhat effective.
Easy. San Jose, SAP Arena. A young Aaron Pico is managed by Zinc Entertainment at the time. So me as the champion, I go to give the kid the rub. I go to shake his hand. I go to give him a hug. My son's in there with me. I walk into the room, and I'm hit with that smell. And you're in the corner because Matt's fighting. And I walk up to you, and I sit there, and I go, Chael. I go, is that Matt? Is that Matt? He said, yes. I said, bro, he goes to bed with his wife smelling like that. You said, yes. As a matter of fact, as anything I've ever heard, I said, that is the most disgusting disgusting stuff I've ever smelt in my life. I've never smelt anything like it. And I go, and you got to go pummel with him and get him ready. He goes, I got to go pummel with him, get him ready to fight. And I got to go corner him smelling like this because I don't have time to shower. I was like, bro, that is unfortunate, JLP. It was just unfortunate. I felt bad for you in that moment. But yes, I had forgot though, because I had trained at the OTC when Matt was around. So it was there. But again, I had been disconnected from it. So when I was reminded, I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. For the record though, it works. Because I beat a Russian guy in Colorado Springs when we were washing their clothes. I beat him 6-1. We wrestled in Krasnoyarsk at the Urigan tournament. We tied up. I smelled him. I said, it's going to be a long night. And he beat me. I knew. I was like, ooh, he's really smelly tonight. He's going to be hard to beat.
The idea that it can serve as a distraction is very much true. You can definitely be distracted and then annoyed, and then you want somebody to help you, like the referee or somebody. You guys all can smell this. Somebody must have something they can do, and they can't. You can't even bring it up. If you bring it up, you're unsportsmanlike.
Yeah, the worst thing is, like, it's just on your arms. And back when we were wrestling, there was all those defense wipes and all those wipes. We didn't have that. You were kind of just stuck smelling like that until you got to the hotel to shower.
Yep.
We didn't have all that stuff, man. That's terrible. That's really, really terrible. So what are you going to do with your Mondays and Thursdays now that we're not doing good guy, bad guy anymore?
Okay, I got to tell you, Daniel, I have a lot of free time on my hands as it is. Like my friends, because of the power of TV, think that I'm very busy, and they will do things and not invite me because they think that I'm very busy. So I'm wide open. I'm hoping I get involved in something. I'm hoping that somebody calls and includes me in something. My son is getting more and more into wrestling, but that doesn't start until after school. So up until about 3 o'clock each day, I'm staring at the clock looking for something to do. I've considered a political run. I'm getting real close to making that decision one way or the other. And Daniel, one of my great motivations to do that is because you got to do something. There's so many hours in a day, and it is a real plight. I know it sounds like a wonderful thing until you have it. Free time is not fun.
No. For me, it's like I get up in the morning. I don't have much to do until the afternoon. Then I'm busy with wrestling. But you're right. This idea that you and I are like insanely busy, it's kind of a false narrative. I mean, I'm going to go home when I get back, and I will be home for 5 straight weeks. And now that there's no good guy, bad guy, I don't know what I'm going to be doing for 5 straight weeks outside of just wrestling. There's so much time in the day that the first 7 hours of the day, I'm generally just kind of walking around aimlessly. We started doing this show so early in the morning, 7:30 on Monday morning, we did Good Guy, Bad Guy. I'm still going to wake up before 7:30. I just don't know what I'm gonna do in the mornings. There's gonna be more time to try to spin and figure out what to do. Is Thurl getting better? Is he getting better at wrestling?
He is getting better. Yes, definitely. His attitude towards it is just perfect. I mean, he'll wake up the night of a wrestling match. He can't sleep the night before. He's got his outfit all laid out. He's going to wear these headgear unless I think he should wear these headgear. He's really excited. He doesn't have that same excitement towards practice. So it's a little bit of a wrestling match between us each day to get in the car to get to practice. And still of the mind that that's going to be his decision. We can do anything, but we're going to do something. We're not going to stay home and do nothing. But what that one thing is up to you. He says he wants it to be wrestling until it's time to go to wrestling practice.
Yeah. Dan likes wrestling. I think he likes football a little more than he does wrestling. I think he's a little bit afraid to tell me. When in reality, I'm like, yo, play football, big boy. I don't mind it. It's a fun sport. I know how much how fun it can be for you, because wrestling can get tough. It can get very, very tough. Yeah. It's sad that this is the end of this. I don't like change, Chael. If I'm being completely honest, like, I don't like change, but obviously we've been so lucky that anytime things have changed, we've been able to kind of stay above water and stay as involved as we've been. So as we wrap Good Guy, Bad Guy, Chael, I'm gonna lay the floor off for you for your final thoughts before we say bye for the final time.
Well, I just appreciate you giving me that opportunity, Daniel. This was so much fun. I used to get to come on this show and be a guest when it was you and RC, but I would look forward to that. When that was on my schedule and I was going to get to, visit with Ryan Clark and visit with Daniel Cormier, and my son would always have some kind of a question. Ask Daniel this or ask Daniel that, which was really just Thero's way of telling you hello. You've treated him so well and he misses you. The team back in Bristol would find ways to work him into a shot or into a storyline. I remember when your daughter had a great gymnastics meet and we put a still picture up there and we surprised you with it. And a lot of people will tell you they're family. A lot of times in business you'll hear that, but that is code word for I don't want to pay you very much money. At ESPN, when they said a family, they really meant it. People really liked each other. We actually looked forward to seeing one another. If somebody called in sick or wasn't at work for a day, it was a blow to everybody because it was such a unity group. And to each and every one of them that are going to, be going off and going in different directions, they've all done a lot for me. And if there's ever something along the way that I could do for them, my phone will always be a call away.
For me, I think that's the most special thing. Those moments where if our kids were highlighted, if they did something special, my team or anything, it wasn't just about mixed martial arts. ESPN gave us the way to highlight the special things in our lives, and that meant the most to me. Thero would say hi because him and I became friends. Honestly, even to the Ultimate Fighter, where every day we'd run up to each other and say, "What's up, Thero, my guy?" He'd walk up to me with his hand up in the air, right? And it's like just that little interaction every day was pretty cool, man, to watch him grow from where he was when you did first start doing TV to now is truly amazing. But the opportunity to work for the Worldwide League of Sports means the world to me. And that it's special when even the people that have moved on, Elizabeth and Kirsten, we still remember them. But for everyone, and it's hard for me to name everybody because you just don't want to miss anyone. But to the ones that were always just right in our face, Glenn, obviously, Cheyenne, Charlie, Air, Jake, all the people that made this sport, Sean, that made this sport this show so great for Chael and I, people that took a chance, like, we appreciate you. We love you. We're going to miss each and every one of you. I always tell people I took an ESPN mic flag because I'm a kid from Lafayette, Louisiana, the north side of Lafayette, Louisiana, and no one for the rest of their life can say that I didn't work for ESPN. And that means something to me. So thank you guys for making the kids' dreams come true, for giving Chael and I an opportunity to be two wrestling dudes that had a show. Hey, people don't even like wrestling and MMA, but you took two wrestlers and gave them a show on ESPN. And we are forever grateful for that. We love and appreciate each and every one of you. Guys, Chael and I appreciate you again, and we will miss you. But before we go, we would like to say bye for the final time. Good guy, bad guy. And we want to leave you with a best of clip from the times that Chael and I have had over the course of our show. Guys, it's going to be next time. This is the last time. So bye. We'll catch you on the next thing that we do. Peace.
What's happening, guys? I'm Chael. He's Daniel. Welcome to another episode of Good Guy, Bad Guy.
He's just a sexy boy. Sexy boy.
He's not your boy toy.
You saw that? You saw that?
Show him. Have you found a singlet?
Let me
She's
see
coming
it.
to me and she's showing while I'm trying. She's in the mirror right here. I think that's a wrestling singlet, sweetie.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I found it in Mom's closet, and she.
Oh, could we please do this later? No, for sure. Maybe Uncle Daniel will get back to us. Hey, dance. Where did you learn about the DX show?
Your ability to pronounce names, like you are really, really good.
It's going to be a big problem for Disha Lavili.
You know what I think? Oh my God.
Lalishvili. Say it how you read it.
Alex Pereira.
Islam
Makhachev.
Makhachev. There's an L in there.
Makhachev. Makhachev?
No.
Makhachev.
Chill.
Blahal Muhammad. Yep. Tough. Yair Rodriguez. I know him. Sabih Makhacheryapov.
That's the greatest pronunciation
Isn't
of his
that it?
name. I haven't learned exactly how to make the font bigger, Chael. I don't know how to make the font bigger, Chael. I mean, I got this iPad thing. I don't know how to make the font bigger. Can you see it, Chael?
No, of course I can't. Derek Lewis showed up to the locker room with a styrofoam thing. He sat down, opened the styrofoam, and it turned out it was a rack of ribs. He ate every single
Shut
one
up,
of
man.
them.
That's
Yes.
not true, man.
It is true. Oh, yeah, and I'm not even teasing him for it. He thought you had to have that food to have energy. No, I swear to goodness. And then Derek started to trim down.
We're in Brazil, right? We go to Brazil, and dude, I'm so afraid because I heard stories, but they said that everybody got robbed. Remember the first time they went to Rio de Janeiro? They all got robbed. It's got to be 2 o'clock in the morning. I look outside on the burger shack. Nobody's out there. Dominic Cruz is sitting there by himself, eating a burger on that beach in the middle of the night in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. I go, Dom, come inside. Come inside. Dom goes, I wish somebody would try to rob me.
I end up at Burger King with Dom. So we all go through the line at Burger King, then you come to the table with your tray, and so when I get to the table, Dom's already at the table, but he has no food. And so I said I wanted to share my food with him, and I said, Dom, and he goes, oh no, I got food, I got a Whopper Jr. And I go, well, Dom, where is it? He goes, it's in my pocket. And I said, Dom, you have a Whopper in your pocket? And he goes, it's a Junior, it's a Whopper Jr. I'll eat that thing tonight. Think about you, Chael. You're eating right now. You're gonna think you're full. You're gonna walk back to your hotel, aren't you? I'll get back to my hotel about 2 o'clock. I'll wake up the same as you do. You'll be hungry and realize you don't have a fridge because you're staying in a hotel. I'll wake up and I'll have a Whopper Jr.
They told me to come down here because you guys are going to train with me.
But wait, we didn't know you were training us.
I'm training
No
you.
way,
I brought
Coach.
my stuff.
Hey,
I brought my stuff.
hey, Coach, I'm on.
Oh, no, everybody's watching.
See,
You
Coach-
can't back down.
Right.
Killed it. You crushed it. You traumatized that kid. You ripped that shirt right off of him. It was
Yeah,
the highest performing video that week.
I like stuff like that. See, Chael? About time I get some respect. Look at Chael, Nina. Anytime anybody gives me credit,
Chael, wake up!
You won't answer mine. Yes, why don't we go ahead with your question on Max Holloway?
I will. We'll get back to it. But
Daniel Cormier, I'm just happy to have your time from ESPN.
Or pass the ball. I'm going to pass you the ball. Oh, 6'7". What is 6'7"? That's a song. I know that.
6'7" is like if you're doing a rating.
Yeah,
you know,
we're
the
both-
girl's like an 8 or a 9.
We're both
6'7".
off.
No, but I'm telling this is
We're terrible.
Yeah, 6'7".
Okay, that's not good.
No.
What does it mean to be snatched?
I say this with a staunch background in heterosexuality, but The Rock is one beautiful man. If I was in that cage, I'd have called out Travis Kelce, and I'd have laid out my case. I'd say, number one, because your calendar's opened up. Number two, much like Shara Bullet said, you're only 3 victories away from a title shot. And number three, your girlfriend Taylor has been ripping off my wife Brittany's gimmick for years.
Okay, what is a bop? I know that. It's a girl in a music video that chases the rapper.
People call me Mystic Mac. It's like I got a crystal ball. I see these things. I can see these things, Dan. Michael Chandler, I could see him realistically. Maybe we go into the third round. Maybe we go in the third round. But either way, I put him stiff.
Use the term gang into sentence.
We're doing it right now, gang.
Oh, that's it. I think that's it.
We're doing it.
I got that one.
Yeah.
Gang.
You know what this is called? Riz. It's short for charisma. My son tells me. My son Or it's called mewing. It's called mewing, and you do it if you have wrist.
Time!
Ah!
1.22.
Oh, shit.
Yeah!
This is way more exciting than your monologue at the MMA Awards, Chael.
That was good.
Gang, gang. I'm gonna snatch. Look about the snatch. Thin
Snatch
waist.
him up, gang.
Snatch. Thin waist.
Hey, Happy New Year!
Why is mine not working? Why do I get...